let's work on the arms and down to the hands. So I'm going to go back to move and let's close this down. And I'm going to extend the shoulder muscles down a little bit. I want them to be really sort of lanky. And so I want this to kind of extend down and kind of distribute because the arm is really, really long. And I want to distribute that in a little bit of a better way. So I'm going to kind of pull this down, pull the chest down a little bit. You can kind of smooth that back into the surface a bit. All right, let's go back to our clay buildup. I'm going to add a nice bony elbow to the back here. Kind of like that. Smooth that back out. We can remesh. And then I want our arm muscle to kind of come and connect up right back here. And so I'll kind of just smooth that back into the arm there. You can add a little bit of definition to maybe like a bicep here for doing that sort of anatomy. Okay, let's kind of get our definition over here for the rest of the arm. Let's smooth this back out. I also want to thin this out a little bit more, so I'm just going to use Alt and just kind of eat away a little bit at that. We talked about when we kind of remove the volume from that, from the wrist. I really want that to kind of be a thinner point there. So we'll use smooth to kind of bring that back in. And on the base of the hand, we'll add a little bit of mass there. Let's go back to move, and I want to create a little bit more shape for the actual hand itself. So we'll kind of bring this out, bring the base of the thumb out a little bit more, kind of center that line. And the hands, I want them to be a little bit more like talons. So I'm going to make the kind of from this knuckle on, I'm going to make that into an actual talon instead of a fleshy finger. And so let's just go on the shape here, kind of avoid the hot dog shape. Now those muscles are sticking out way too far. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those back in. Let's grab our Damien standard and we can start to block in some sort of landmarks here. Kind of where the base of the arm is, where the bicep will connect in. Kind of some lines going across here. Maybe defining the elbow there a little bit. This is going to be covered. And so again, I don't want to spend too much time detailing the musculature since it's going to be covered up, but I do want to get kind of the basics there. We could work on that a little bit too. But I want to show you how to separate the pieces out for the talons. And so we are working with Dynamesh here. And the cool thing about this is we can cut parts of this off and remesh it, and it'll seal everything up and just create that as a new mesh. So let's say I want to start to cut off the fingers at kind of this joint right here. So there are a few ways that we can do this. I'm going to go to the mask brush and I'm going to select the mask pen. And so I'm just going to mask off the areas that we want to become those talons. And we can do one at a time, or we can do them all at once. Just do them all at once here. So I'm just going to go right up to that joint, whichever part of the finger that you want to be instead of the finger, but like the claw or the talon. I don't like this thumb very much. So I'm going to get a move brush. And move that joint down a little. Okay. Now let's figure out where we want that talon to be. All right, so let's say that those are where we want our talons to be. So we're using Dynamesh. So all we're going to do now is go down to our subtool palette and go to split. Okay, right here. And we're just going to split masked points. That's going to pull those claws into its own subtool, which is still a Dynamesh. So now you can see this is a completely separate subtool. If I control drag, you can see that separates out. I turn this off and go to our guy here. You can see there's holes here now. Dynamesh is great because it fills all those holes. So let's go ahead and remesh this. And now those are all filled. We can go in here and smooth that out. We've got our claws here. And let's kind of smooth those. We've got move